When Clara, a passionate hairdresser, decided to cut hair for free for a homeless man, she was immediately fired by her furious boss. But here's the surprising twist. Shortly after, a powerful man appeared, and what he did will change everything and bring justice. Clara was in her element, surrounded by reflective mirrors and the soft scent of beauty products that permeated the air of the salon. With her skilled hands, she transformed hair into true works of art, while her warm smile lit up the environment. Clients came and went with expressions of joy, admiring their new looks and, more importantly, the attention they received. Deep down in her heart, Clara nurtured a dream that had followed her since she began cutting hair in her teenage years. Have her own salon, a space where she could not only beautify, but also welcome and promote self-esteem. It was then that, looking out the salon window, Clara spotted Lucas. He was sitting in front of the establishment, his eyes lost somewhere far away. The sad expression on his face made her heart ache. Lucas was a war veteran, a man who, in better times, had pride written all over his face. Now, his presence was marked by loneliness and despair. "Lucas," Clara whispered, recalling some stories she had heard about him. Without thinking twice, Clara decided she couldn't ignore him. The empathy that had always guided her pushed her to act. "He needs help," she thought, grabbing a cup of hot coffee and stepping out of the salon. Clara walked towards Lucas, her heart pounding with a mix of compassion and determination. The veteran, sitting in a corner of the sidewalk, seemed a shadow of the man he once was. His distant gaze reflected a life marked by loss and disillusionment. As she approached, Clara noticed the signs of suffering on his face, and without hesitation she offered him a warm smile. "Hi, how are you?" Clara asked, the softness of her voice contrasting with the environment around them. "Would you like a coffee? It's cold out here." Lucas looked up, surprised by the unexpected kindness. "Coffee? Oh no, I don't want to bother you," he replied, his tone sad and hesitant. "No way, it's just coffee. And if you want, we can chat a bit. It's nice to have someone to talk to," Clara insisted, sitting down beside him. The spark of her empathy seemed to ignite a small flame of hope within Lucas. "Yeah. Been a while since I talked to anyone," he admitted, his voice low, almost like a whisper. "I'm just here, living one day at a time." Clara realized that the conversation could be a small step towards helping Lucas regain a bit of his dignity. "How about coming into the salon? I can make you a warm coffee and maybe, who knows, a haircut. It would do you good." Lucas hesitated, looking at the bright and busy salon. I don't know if I'm welcome." "Look at me," he said, gesturing to his worn clothes and the state of his hair. "Everyone deserves a little care and affection, Lucas. Come on, I insist," Clara encouraged, standing up and extending her hand to him. With a hesitant gesture, Lucas accepted the offer and got up, following Clara. Inside the salon, the atmosphere buzzed with laughter and conversations. Clara led Lucas to one of the chairs, where he sat down, appearing a bit more at ease. Before starting the haircut, Clara offered Lucas some clean clothes and gently asked, "Would you like to take a shower? It might help you feel renewed." Lucas hesitated for a moment but accepted gratefully. After the shower, he came out of the changing room looking completely different. Wearing the new clothes and with a sparkle of renewal in his eyes, he looked like a new person, visibly more confident and worthy, ready for the next step in his transformation. "I'm gonna get that coffee," she said before stepping away. While preparing the drink, she couldn't help but glance at Lucas in the mirror. He was watching her, a mix of gratitude and nervousness in his gaze. When she returned with the coffee, Clara sat down next to him. "Here you go. Now let's take care of that hair. Do you mind if I ask about your story?" Lucas sighed, his eyes drifting into memories. "Once upon a time, I was a respected man. I fought in wars, earned medals, but after my wife passed away, everything fell apart. Couldn't handle the pain. I lost everything, even the will to fight." "I'm so sorry to hear that, Lucas. No one should go through such pain alone," Clara replied, her voice gentle as she began cutting his hair. With each movement, she could feel she was not just transforming his appearance, but also redeeming a bit of his self-confidence. "You're different, Clara. You're not like other people. They only look at what's on the outside," Lucas said, smiling shyly as some strands of hair fell to the floor. "You really care." I try to see people beyond appearances. We all have our struggles, Lucas. What matters is how we can help each other overcome them. Clara replied as she continued to work. The laughter and conversations in the salon became a comforting background as Clara shared stories about her life, her aspirations to open her own salon, and how she dreamed of creating a space where everyone felt welcome. Lucas began to laugh, his worries fading as he felt more at ease. Clara was focused on her work when suddenly the salon door burst open with a bang. Sylvia, the owner, entered, her piercing eyes fixed on Clara and Lucas, who had just received the haircut he desperately needed. The salon, which had previously been filled with laughter and light conversations, was overtaken by an awkward silence. "Clara," Sylvia shouted, her voice cutting through the air like a knife. "What do you think you're doing? You think you can bring these dirty people into my salon? This is a business, not a shelter." Sylvia's tone was so severe that the customers present exchanged nervous glances. Lucas, who was sitting in the chair next to the mirror, felt his heart tighten. He didn't want to be a cause of trouble for Clara, who had been so kind to him. Clara, with the scissors still in her hand, looked at Sylvia, trying to find a way to explain the situation. "Sylvia, she began, but the owner didn't give her space to finish. "Just what? Just ruin the salon's reputation? Do you think that's acceptable? I won't tolerate this kind of behavior." Sylvia was furious, her face flushed with indignation. "You're fired, Clara. Now, get out." The words hit Clara like a punch to the stomach. She felt tears welling up in her eyes, but she didn't want to cry in front of everyone. "Sylvia, please, I just wanted to help Lucas. He needed a little dignity." Her voice was choked, but her attempt to explain fell on deaf ears. "Dignity? Dignity doesn't pay the bills, my dear. Have you forgotten what's most important here?" Sylvia gestured angrily, as if pouring all her frustration onto Clara. "Get out now, and don't come back." Lucas, who was in shock, stood up from the chair, felt a mix of gratitude and guilt. "I'm sorry, Clara. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have come here." His voice trembled as he spoke, his expression reflecting the pain of feeling like a burden. "No, Lucas, it's not your fault," Clara replied, trying to stay strong. "I did this because I wanted to help, and I'm grateful to have met you." The scene was distressing. Customers, who had previously been so cheerful, now watched the scene with looks of compassion and bewilderment. A murmur began to spread through the salon as some started to stand up, disapproving of Sylvia's attitude. "This is unacceptable, Sylvia," said one of the customers, a gray-haired woman who had been a client of Clara's for years. "She was just trying to do good. You can't treat people like this." "It's true. This is absurd," another voice chimed in, and soon a chorus of indignation began to echo through the salon. Clara looked around, surprised by the support she was receiving. Sylvia, realizing that she had lost control of the situation, was in a state of denial. "You don't understand. This is my business, and I do what I want." She tried to stand her ground, but her gaze betrayed that she was starting to waver. Clara, with tears, she knew she couldn't continue in that situation, that her time there had come to an end. Lucas, still feeling guilty, placed his hand on her shoulder. "I'm sorry, Clara. I never wanted this to happen." "Don't worry, Lucas. The important thing is that you had a happy moment today. That's what counts." Clara gave a faint smile, trying to keep hope alive within her. Together they left the hall, and as the door closed behind them, Clara felt that, despite the pain and humiliation, something greater was forming inside her. A growing determination not to let Sylvia's cruelty define her future. She looked at Lucas, who was with her, and felt that even amid adversity, something beautiful could emerge from all this. As Clara and Lucas walked down the sidewalk of the small town, the silence enveloping them was heavy. Each other's presence brought a slight relief. Lucas, with his head down, finally decided to share a bit of his story. "You know, Clara, I'm not always like this, before all this." He hesitated, the words feeling like stones in his throat. "I was a soldier, a respected veteran, known for my bravery. I earned medals and everything. But after my wife's death, I lost myself." Clara stopped, looking into Lucas's eyes, which shone with the pain of past memories. "I'm so sorry, Lucas. That must have been very difficult." Her empathy shone through, and Lucas felt almost comfortable enough to continue. "She was my life. When she left, I didn't know how to go on. I went to the streets, thinking I could find a way to cope with the pain. And here I am, a man without a home, without purpose. His voice faltered, and he took a deep breath, trying to compose himself. But you gave me something I haven't had in a long time, a sense of dignity. Clara smiled, a genuine smile that lit up her face. We all deserve dignity, Lucas, and you're not alone. I want to help in any way I can. The conversation flowed between them, a simple yet powerful dialogue. Clara, listening to each word from Lucas, began to understand the depth of his struggle. Without realizing it, people around them started to notice the connection between the two. Customers leaving the hall now observed the scene with a mix of curiosity and compassion. The news of Clara's dismissal spread quickly through the town. Lucas, determined to reverse the situation, decided he couldn't just stand by. He began reconnecting with his influential family and friends, telling them about the kindness Clara had shown in such a dark moment of his life. She didn't just give me a haircut. She gave me dignity, hope. You need to do something for her. With each conversation, people united in support of Clara. The feeling of outrage grew in the streets, and a wave of solidarity began to form. What was once a small act of kindness was now becoming a movement. The group headed to the salon, where Sylvia was finishing her shift. Upon arriving, Clara felt her heart race. The tension in the air was evident, and the anger that had once consumed her was now transforming into courage. Sylvia, noticing the crowd, raised an eyebrow, her expression twisting in disdain. "What are you all doing here? Are you crazy?" "We're here to talk about Clara," Carla said, stepping forward. "What you did was wrong and unacceptable. We cannot allow you to treat people this way." The salon owner crossed her arms, postured defensive. "And who cares about your opinion? This is a business, and I can't have dirty people in my salon." "It's not just about business, Sylvia. It's about humanity." Lucas intervened, his voice firm. "Clara gave me dignity when no one else cared. You could learn something from her." The influential businessman from the city, who had heard the raised voices, approached, his imposing presence silencing everyone. "Sylvia, I cannot remain silent. What you did is a reflection of a lack of empathy that we cannot accept in our community." The woman looked at him, a mix of anger and fear in her gaze. "And who do you think you are to tell me that?" "Someone who is willing to invest in a new salon, a salon that Clara can call her own," he replied, his tone resolute. "She deserves a chance to thrive, and that's what we're going to do." His words echoed in everyone's minds, creating a wave of hope. Sylvia, surrounded by united and determined voices, realized that her power was fading. "This can't be happening," she murmured, more to herself than to the others. As Clara watched the scene, her heart pulsed with the strength of community support. She had imagined a future where she could care for people and make a difference. Now, that dream seemed closer than ever. The next day, Clara woke up with a sense of uncertainty, also of hope. Lucas's words of support and the mobilization of the community filled her with courage. She knew she was not alone and that somehow, everything would work out. While having breakfast, Clara received an unexpected call. "Clara, I need you to come to the central square now. It's important." Clara quickly got dressed and ran to the square. Upon arriving, she was surprised to see a crowd gathered. Among them was the influential businessman who had spoken the night before. He stood out with his confident demeanor and friendly expression. "Clara, I'm so glad you came," said Carla, pulling her to the center of the square. "We have a surprise for you." The businessman stepped forward and extended his hand to Clara. "Good morning, Clara. My name is Roberto. I own several businesses in the area and was deeply touched by your story. I believe that people like you deserve to be supported." Clara shook his hand, still not fully understanding what was happening. "Thank you, Roberto. I'm very grateful for your support," she said with a shy smile. Roberto signaled, and two people brought a large decorative key, wrapped in colorful ribbons. "Clara, the community has come together, and with the help of some connections, we managed to organize something very special for you. This is the symbol of your new salon," Roberto announced, handing the key to Clara. Clara was stunned, feeling tears welling in her eyes. "My own salon? I don't know what to say," she murmured, her voice choked with emotion. "You deserve it, Clara. Your kindness and dedication have touched us all," said Carla, hugging her. Roberto and other business owners in the city mobilized to find a perfect location and equip it with everything you need. "Come on, let me show you the place," said Roberto, leading Clara and the crowd toward a building just a few blocks away. Along the way, Clara heard murmurs of approval and encouragement from the people around her. When they arrived at the new salon, Clara was amazed. It was a beautiful space with large windows letting in sunlight, walls painted in soft shades of blue and white, and decorated with fresh flowers. There were modern mirrors, comfortable chairs, and a cozy waiting area. Everything felt like a dream. "This space has been prepared especially for you, Clara," said Roberto, smiling. "We want you to continue making a difference in people's lives." Clara walked through the salon, touching the furniture and admiring every detail. "It's perfect. I have no words to thank all of you," she said, moved. Lucas, who was among the crowd, approached Clara. "Clara, you deserve this. Your kindness changed my life, and now you can continue to spread that light to others." Clara hugged Lucas, feeling a wave of gratitude and happiness. "Thank you, Lucas. You gave me the courage to move forward." Roberto raised his hand, getting everyone's attention. "Now let's officially inaugurate Clara's salon," he announced. People applauded and cheered with joy. Clara took the large decorative key and, with a radiant smile, opened the door to her new salon. As she entered, she was welcomed by a chorus of voices singing "Happy Birthday" and a shower of flower petals. The energy in the air was contagious. People explored the salon, praising every detail and expressing their happiness for Clara. Old and new clients, friends and strangers, all came together to celebrate that special moment. "Clara, you are an inspiration to all of us," said Roberto, handing her an envelope. "Here's an initial gift, a fund to help keep the salon running in the first few months." Clara opened the envelope and saw a generous check. "This is more than I could have imagined. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you all. I promise I will make this hall a place where everyone feels welcome and valued." The celebration continued with music, laughter, and shared stories. Clara felt that her dream was finally coming true. She knew the road wouldn't be easy, but with the support of the community and her determination, she was ready to face any challenge. As night fell and the stars began to shine, Clara stood outside the hall, watching the bright lights reflected in the windows. Lucas approached and stood beside her. "Clara, you did it. You turned a moment of adversity into something beautiful," Lucas said with a smile. "I didn't do it alone, Lucas. It was the love and support of everyone that made this possible," Clara replied, looking at the brightest star in the sky. "I believe that with kindness and determination, we can overcome any obstacle." With a heart full of gratitude and hope, Clara took one last look at her new hall before closing the doors for the night. Tomorrow would be the first day of a new journey, and she was ready to embrace every moment with the same passion and empathy that had always guided her life. With Clara's support and the community's help, Lucas began to rebuild his life. He accepted help from Clara and others who rallied to offer clothes, food, and a place to stay. Gradually, he reconnected with his family. His sister, Maria, whom he hadn't spoken to in years, welcomed him with open arms, emotional to see her brother's transformation. "Lucas, we are so happy to have you back," Maria said, tears in her eyes. "We always knew you had a good heart and just needed an opportunity to rise again." Now more confident and filled with hope, Lucas started attending veterans meetings and support groups, sharing his story of overcoming adversity and inspiring others to seek help. He found a new purpose in helping those going through similar situations as his own. The friendship between Lucas and Clara grew stronger and stronger. They became inseparable, sharing dreams, challenges, and victories. Clara not only offered Lucas a job at the salon, but also invited him to be the face of her business. "You are living proof that everyone deserves a second chance," Clara said during a photo shoot for the salon's new advertising campaign. "Your story of overcoming struggles is inspiring, and I want everyone to know about it." Lucas, dressed in a stylish suit and with a confident smile, posed for the photos with pride. Images of him, with his new look and aura of renewal, were spread throughout the city on posters, flyers, and social media. The campaign was a success, attracting more customers and solidifying Clara's salon as a symbol of empathy and transformation. The townspeople admired Lucas not only for his renewed appearance, but for the courage and determination he showed in rebuilding his life. He became an example of resilience and inspiration for everyone. As time went on, Lucas found peace and happiness in the company of his family and in his friendship, Clara. He helped out at the salon whenever he could, charming clients with his story and natural charisma. The connection between Clara and Lucas was palpable, a friendship that blossomed through acts of kindness and mutual support. "Clara, I'll never be able to thank you enough for everything you've done for me," Lucas said one day while helping tidy up the salon after a long day of work. "You don't need to thank me, Lucas," Clara replied, smiling. "Your friendship and the way you've touched the lives of so many people is already a gift enough for me." Lucas, now living well with his family and admired by all, found a new purpose in life. He and Clara continued to work together, making the salon a place where not only external beauty was attended to, but also inner beauty was cultivated. The future looked bright for Clara and Lucas, two souls who found each other amid adversity and transformed their lives and the lives of many others around them. Together, they showed that kindness and compassion can truly change the world. Did you enjoy Clara and Lucas's story? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Your like and subscription help share more kindness and hope.